Oh, let me tell you something. Busting makes me feel good.
Hey everybody, welcome to Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate the movies. I'm your host, Jay Light. Joining me today, Ayla Glass.
Hello.
What's up?
Hi.
Hi. Nice to see you again so soon.
I know.
Twice in a week.
It's my lucky week, I guess.
That's my lucky week. Oh my God.
That's right.
Because I rarely see you, but we were just at, and this is convenient because this will have just come out, we were just at the premiere party for a historical roast on Netflix.
That's right.
Which is out now as of the time you're listening to this. So
Yes.
you should check it out.
Came out on Memorial Day, which is May 27th.
Yep. That is a whole week ago.
So you should have already watched it all by now, but just in case you haven't, get on it.
Did you? Was it the first time you'd? Were you at any of the tapings? I forget.
I was at the Freddie Mercury taping.
So just the Freddie Mercury one.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Did you enjoy seeing the way it all came together for the edit?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It came together so fun. It was like a really fun episode, I thought. I mean, the characters that were involved were just a lot of fun in general. But the only thing that bummed me out about being at the taping and then seeing the show is that there were so many amazing jokes that there wasn't time to get in, especially from Nikki Glazer, who's so funny. And
She's
she wrote so many
great.
jokes for that. And obviously she still kills in the episode, but I just remember the room was dying when she was on.
That was such a fun taping. That particular episode, I think, is one of the best ones. At least from the having seen all 6 that we taped and having not watched any of it yet, because even though in podcast land it's after, in real world time, this all comes out tomorrow.
Yes.
So I don't know yet, but I really liked the way it turned out. I think it was a ton of fun, and I think it captured it well. Anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about something that was not captured well.
No.
Frozen. That's what you came to talk about today.
I did. Because I want to get hate mail, apparently.
What's your beef with Frozen?
I think it might be like the most overrated Disney movie ever.
Oh wow. Fighting words.
Fighting words, I know. Like I said, I want to get hate mail, apparently. It's just, it's a passively good movie with one amazing song that makes everyone forget that the plot kind of sucked.
And here's and to add fuel to the hate mail fire, that one song, not that amazing.
It's really, if you know anything about music theory, it's just a pretty generically good pop song. It's a good song, but it's not doing anything revolutionary, except for fitting the word fractals into a song. I do appreciate Let It Go for making fractals a lyric, because everyone had to look that up, which is great. So
it's hard
SAT
to do.
words.
Well, that's the thing. It won, and I'm trying to look up the actual.
It won, I
It
believe,
won Best Original Song at the Oscars.
and Best Animated Feature that year as well.
Right. And I'm checking to see what it was up against that year, because this was officially a 2013 movie. So it came out in 2012. It was up against, all right, I mean, looking at the movies it was up against, the only one that it seems like probably really stood a big chance to win was The Wind Rises, which was the final Hayao Miyazaki movie.
Right, but Americans don't care.
Exactly. Americans would much rather see, oh my God, Disney's back. Let's get them again.
Yep. Actually, I when I was reading on this movie, apparently this is Disney's first win, without it being a Pixar movie since Tarzan.
Yeah.
So it was a big deal for them.
It was.
Congratulations of being the best of the really okay year of animated movies.
That's
Disney.
the thing. It's just it was up against Despicable Me 2, which was also up against in Best Original Song, because Happy got nominated. These are the nominees: Happy by Pharrell, The Moon Song from Her, which is a really nice little song.
Yeah.
A nice little ditty. And Ordinary Love from Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom by Bono. And U2.
That's a crazy lineup. I can't believe that Happy didn't win, honestly. Like that song is, I feel like that song might have been bigger than Let It Go.
Oh, I think for sure it is. Happy, I still hear pretty much any day of the week. If you're out in an outdoor mall or something like that, Happy is going to come on the speakers.
Yeah.
Let It Go. Where's Let It Go?
Thankfully not being played.
Thank God. Okay, so this movie, by the way, Frozen. If you haven't gathered it by now, that we're talking about the movie Frozen. It's a 2012. Oh, this Wikipedia page is crazy long.
People got a lot to say. They got to make sure that we know all the info on the best movie of all time.
2013. A 2013 American 3D computer animated musical fantasy film produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios, released by Walt Disney Pictures. The 53rd Disney animated feature film. It tells the story of a fearless princess who sets off on a journey alongside a rugged Iceman, his loyal reindeer, and a naive snowman to find her estranged sister whose icy powers have inadvertently trapped their kingdom in eternal winter.
Oh my God, that synopsis already makes me want to like barf a little bit. Is she fearless or is she just dumb? Because I think she's just dumb.
I think she's dumb.
Most of it.
They spend a lot of the movie talking about how dumb she is.
Yeah.
And the
major plot point is her naivete.
Right. I will say this. Rewatching it, because I saw it in theaters. And did you see it when it was in theaters?
No, I did not see it in theaters.
When was the first time you saw it?
I saw a screener of it. So I saw it relatively soon after it came out.
Okay.
But I saw a screener of it because a friend was like, oh my God, like Frozen was so amazing. You have to say it. And I was like, I love Disney movies. It's so fun that it's like, you know, the two sisters are the main story. Like, I just expected more from the movie. You know, it was like the husband and wife, like, team who wrote the songs are, like, really great. And they've done a lot of stuff on Broadway. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be, like, a great movie. And it was...
Turns out...
super okay.
It's average at best.
At best.
So, this movie... it's hard to figure out why there's so much like shifting perspective. That was the thing I noticed.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. I was like, okay, I remember seeing this in theaters and falling asleep, and so I missed some stuff the first time I watched it. I saw it with my sister. It was my Christmas present to my sister was to go see Frozen with her.
That's
I'm a good
unfortunate.
big brother.
Yeah.
I do what I can. But anyway, so this movie, I missed some stuff. So watching it again before this episode, I was struck by that Elsa is like sort of the villain of the movie, but not really. Mm-hmm. There's too many villains.
See, that's so interesting you say there's too many villains, because I think the problem is that there are no villains and it's just shoehorned in at the end like, we need some sort of antagonistic character to make a climactic moment. The prince guy, he's bad now, right? Because boy, he's gross. Like
that's basically you and I are I think you and I are saying the same thing but in different ways.
Obviously it wasn't clear,
right.
Which is the problem.
You literally have a guy who they're like trope, like the point of him, they're like, oh, he's from a place it's a bad thing, Weaseltown. No, it's not. It's not that. I promise.
Oh God, I have a joke that they wouldn't let die.
Absolutely not. But he's supposed to be the bad guy, and then Elsa's kind of the bad guy for a little bit, and then you have the prince Hans, and he's the villain. But it's just, it bugs me. It's too, there's no direction.
Yeah, and it's like you said, there's a lot of shifting of like, whose story is this really? Like, we got a little bit of Hans. Like, Hans is the first main character. Sorry, not Hans. Kristoff. Kristoff is the first main character that we see in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
In the Ice Man scene, which also has literally nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
Right. It's like they ripped a song out of Pocahontas and then put it into this musical about ice. I don't get it.
Like, it was a strong misdirect with like being like, oh, look, we're going to have this like culturally specific music. Just kidding. Standard Disney pop musical. The rest of the songs are just straight up pop songs, and most of them don't even move along the narrative of the movie at all. They're just songs.
And not good. So they're just like, it's a point when as soon as they have a line in there about, I don't know if I'm nervous or gassy, and I was like, come on, you guys.
Which I have to say was delivered very well by Kristen Bell. I have to say, like, the voice talent in this movie really saved the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Especially Kristen Bell's performance is pretty spectacular. Watching it again, I was like, she brings so much life to the character. And Jonathan Groff does a really great job too as Kristoff.
Mm-hmm. And that's and of course Idina Menzel as Elsa.
I actually think her voice acting was really flat. I mean,
But the singing.
her singing is always going to be amazing.
It's always going to be the saver.
But yeah, I don't know.
You have a bunch of notes.
I do.
What are some of the notes? What are some of the things that you caught when you were rewatching it? By the way, that is an impressive clipboard.
Thank you. It was.
I really like that.
It was a gift, and it's funny. I don't actually use if no one can see this, but it's like a clipboard that has a notepad attached on the inside, so it's like a book. But I only use the clipboard on top and write on computer paper because it makes sense.
So what you got on your notes? You got several pages worth of notes.
Yeah, because I just wrote full sentences because I was afraid I would forget what I was gonna say. Random things. This is super random, but I'm just gonna bring it up anyway. Why are the wolves always getting the bad rap in Disney movies, huh?
I don't know.
They shoehorn this wolf chase scene in for no reason. For what? I don't know. I guess the plot payoff of Anna giving him a sleigh at the end.
I think it's like, it's like for that and the joke of, oh, I just paid that off.
Yep.
Wait a minute. The sleigh's a car. This is for the adults. The kids don't know
Wink,
what we're talking
wink.
about. Wink, wink.
Although I have to say, the sleigh blowing up at the bottom of the ravine was a pretty hilarious
It's pretty good.
comedic timing on that.
That was the thing I didn't notice the first time, was how many jokes there were clearly layered in for the adults who have been begged by their children to go take them to see Frozen. So many jokes for the adults.
So many.
Not like adult quality jokes like you get in some of the other really classic Disney movies.
Right.
Just like, a kid's not going to know what how car payments work. Let's get an adult in there to figure that. A kid's not going to know what lacquer is. It just sounds funny. An adult, now they know a thing or two about polyurethane. Let's make sure this one's in there.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, no, that was. I did think that was funny, but yeah, it also like just goes to it being really pointless. That chase scene like did nothing for the movie. There was no point. It was just like they're like, it's feeling kind of slow. Maybe we should add an action sequence.
Yeah.
They're in the forest. Wolves? ? Yeah, let's just have another wolf chase scene and rip off Beauty and the Beast. It's the same thing.
You know how Disney loves to reuse things, though, right? You've seen that video? I'm assuming where they have old animation cells that they just painted over and reused for different sequences in other movies.
Oh no,
you've never seen this? Oh my god, it's truly just, it makes at the time you watch it and you're like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. It's probably saving on production costs, but also lazy as hell because you have these sequences from like Robin Hood and I forget because there's a couple in there and I forget what they all are. But they just have reused
like all the backgrounds,
not the backgrounds, the character designs also, and the movements that they're doing because it's like a fun like dance party sequence.
Oh, I mean, just like kind of like flashing back to my childhood, I do feel like all of their dancing always did look the same.
Always looks the same because they just took the cells and just painted over them.
Kind of like
again.
a hoppy jig type dance that everyone always did.
And someone's smiling. There's a fat person smiling, or a fat animal in the case of most of these Disney movies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then angry wolves.
And angry wolves. But that also like goes to one of my points that Frozen was just trying to be Tangled and it failed miserably. Like all the character designs just look like all the characters from Tangled.
See, I never saw Tangled. So what's Tangled like?
I actually have not seen it either.
They do look the same, though.
But they look the same. Like if you see side by sides, it's like the princesses look the same, and like I don't know. Flynn looks a little bit different but he looks pretty close to Hans. But basically, they said that they were going to make this a 2D movie, and they decided to do CGI because Tangled was so popular.
Did you see Princess and the Frog?
I did.
So I saw it also, and I really liked them going back to 2D for that.
Yeah, but apparently it did poorly financially, so they were like, oh, I gotta get this computer shit in here.
I guess. Do kids really care about that computer shit?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know. I guess they must if they're not going to go see Princess and the Frog and they want to go see some weird giant-eyed ladies in the snow.
It's true. They had the hugest eyes.
Huge eyes. The level of like...
They look like Bratz dolls.
Yeah. It's unsettling.
Yeah.
I can't... I feel like... I never saw Tangled, but I feel like even the eyes in Tangled are regular size. Sort of.
I don't feel like her eyes were definitely not as big.
In this, they're taking up their anime eyes, practically. They're like taking up half of their face.
And the guy characters looked relatively human.
Right.
Whereas the two princesses, they look like little dolls. Like they were just teeny tiny.
That's how you sell merch, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, well, talk about merch. Talk about freaking Snowman.
Oh, Olaf.
I have this comic relief character that sings that stupid song about a snowman in the summer. I honestly think they were like, crap, we cast Josh Gad in this movie. We can't have him not sing a song.
Right.
So they gave him some bullshit song.
How about, as far as on the bullshit song scale goes, how about that song when they're hanging out with the trolls?
That song, I actually got angry during it. I was like, first of all, this bitch is dying.
Right.
So why are we singing a song right now? Like, why? It's like totally erasing any sense of urgency. It's like that her heart has
Her
ice
heart's
in
got
it.
ice in it.
Her heart is freezing. And instead of addressing that, we're going to have a bunch of side characters sing a song about... Wait, let me get this correct of like exactly what they were saying.
They're talking about
the
people
troll
being
song.
fixer-uppers.
A fixer-upper. You can fix him with love. Your engagement is temporary. I don't see a ring. What?
Right?
Like, that's so messed up. It's basically like, no! Like, if she says she's engaged, you need to respect that and not be like, oh, no, like, screw that guy. Like, this guy's better. Like...
That's the thing. That Kristoff is very respectful as a character. Kristoff is probably the best character in the whole movie.
He is, and he's so underdeveloped. And I mean, I guess not that we, lack for...
Well, the whole premise of him is basically just like... They say it in the song, too, and they say the same thing about Anna. It's basically a big character trait for them. It's, we're awkward. I don't shower. I don't know how to talk to people.
The not shower thing came up so many times. It even comes up when he said something that was actually funny, but it was like, you're pungent prince or something like that. And I was like, pungent. You're pungent prince or something. I was like, why are we still talking about that he smells?
Even the trolls are like, he smells like a reindeer. And Olaf's like, or Kristoff's like, why do you keep bringing this up?
Yeah.
This is irrelevant.
I don't know. Also, how is he an orphan? Why was he raised by the trolls? He was hanging out with the human ice dudes in the beginning.
That's true.
But somehow none of those dudes were his parents, nor were they concerned enough about him to like take him in.
Also, they make fun of him for being an ice seller.
Yeah.
But there's no reason for him to be made fun of because the only reason that his business is probably tanking, which there's no way it's going to tank like immediately.
Yeah.
It's in the summertime. He's selling ice. And then all of a sudden it's winter and they're like, uh-oh, I'm ruined. The stock market crashed for ice. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like, there's so many plot holes. I mean, I think the idea of it behind is that, if it's eternal winter, it doesn't work for selling ice. But also, how would anyone know that it's been like 2 hours?
Right, exactly. Nobody should know. It doesn't.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows
this movie
that.
is so frustrating. Okay,
I have so many questions.
What else do you have in your? What other questions?
There's so many
have?
logic questions about her powers.
Okay, yeah, Elsa's powers are pretty hard to pin down.
So, I guess she's born with them. She's a mutant. Someone called Professor X. We don't know. Fine.
Hey, Marvel had been acquired by Disney at this point, so we could see
We need to.
Elsa showing up in Dark Phoenix this summer. I don't know.
Well, I hope so. I mean, that's a crossover that we need. But I think that it's also so messed up. So she hurts her sister, which makes her feel bad about her powers, and then so then the troll shaman is like, "Fear will be your downfall. Let me show you this magic thing that will make you afraid of your powers."
Right.
And then her parents are like, you should be ashamed and afraid of like your powers. Also, she's been like in that room, I guess, I don't know, like for however many years, 8 years or whatever. You haven't figured anything out.
Right.
You haven't learned anything about how to control your powers. How is that even possible? Like, she can't even like touch something for more than 10 seconds, like when she's getting coronated without starting to freeze it. I'm like, you can't even do that?
I feel like her parents are doing her a gigantic disservice.
Yeah.
They're not even like making an effort to hang out with her and teach her how to deal with her emotions in a healthy way. Like, you got to have a royal shrink on hand or something.
I mean, bring in somebody to like.
Where's the Jafar of this movie?
Exactly.
That would have been, you know what?
The
That would have
royal
been
advisor.
That would have been a way better plot point, is to have the royal advisor be evil, and he's the one who's like teaching Elsa about her powers, but also he, I don't know, hypnotizes her or something, and is like, this is work. As soon as she's of age, I'm going to make her ruin the kingdom. And that's it.
Or like, there was a royal advisor and they worked together and she thought she was doing good, but she was really doing bad. And then she like, switches and defeats him and like with her sister together. Like, that would be a way more fun story than the just crap that we were given, which didn't make any sense. Like, there's... Well, I don't know if you know this story, but basically what happened. So the Snow Queen was supposed to be the villain. Like, the Snow Queen is a villain.
Right, because that's how it is in the original story.
Yeah. But when they wrote Let It Go for her, they were like, oh, this is like the song. This is like our song for this movie. Like, a villain can't sing this song. What are we going to do? And then, so they changed the whole story to make the Snow Queen good and it to be like, yay, sisters together.
Let It Go?
To fit Let It Go. Because literally they said, there's an interview where I heard it and I was like, what? Like, because Let It Go is too good of a song to be sung by a villain.
Let It Go isn't too good of a song.
They just, it's an earworm though.
You know what's crazy? I was reading about this and I had no idea that as far as character chemistry goes, the reason why it is Idina Menzel and Kristen Bell is because when they were workshopping it, they had a table read together before they had any music, and they sang "Wind Beneath My Wings" as a duet, like an impromptu duet, and they were like, "That's the sisters right there. Let's make them happen." I feel like if you have. I just don't feel like that. I don't believe the chemistry of the sisteriness as much as the Disney dream would want me to believe that they have.
Yeah, because they don't have like any chemistry in the movie because they're not allowed to.
Right.
Like, they have so few actual scenes together. And it's disappointing because I think Anna really did have potential to be like a really awesome and strong character if they were worried less about Elsa also being like as compassionate, like as much of a like character that they also wanted the audience to like as much.
I mean, yeah, there's a reason why Elsa is the one who's on all the merch and that everybody knows, and not Anna.
And people Anna's always in the background. But I mean, it's also because Elsa's got the sparkly ice dress, which I have ice dress ? Because her powers, once again, do not make sense. Like, she can make sentient snow objects and she can also create fabric. Is her dress made of ice? Is her body like 32 degrees Fahrenheit at all times? What is happening?
I don't know.
I had a big question about that. I was like, what is this dress made out of? Is it made of ice? Like, how is it not melt? Is it just ice? I don't know.
It's like Hawaiian shaved ice, where it's just that super thin and it's strippy and it's good to go. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense. She's got like snow powers and ice powers, but she can't control it. until she's like, I'm cool. I'm going to sing a song about how everything's great and I'm not afraid of anything anymore. And then she spends the rest of the movie being afraid and fucking things up.
Well, and the massive thing about Let It Go, like in the context of the movie, is that it's a bad thing that she's doing. Like, she's basically like, screw my sister, screw my responsibilities as queen. Like, those people can just go die in an ice storm. I'm going to do my thing.
Right.
That is not a good message. Like, screw everyone else. I'm just going to let their, like, hate go. And, like, I'm just going to shirk all my responsibilities. And I'm going to go live alone and do what exactly? In this ice palace on a mountain.
Right.
By myself.
Well, it's the same kind of thing with the trolls, too, is nobody lets any of the characters explain any of the problems that are happening in the movie until they have delayed the conversation for like 10 minutes.
It's true.
Because Anna comes up to the castle and Elsa like runs away, and then Anna's finally like, "No, she's trying to be like, you've made winter forever," and Elsa's just interrupting her with her songs and sadness. Same thing happened with the trolls. They're trying to be like,
that was a really terrible moment of like singing that like didn't make any sense.
I've got a question. I want to ask you this. Do you think that if this movie were not a musical, it would have been any better?
Well, that's it. That's a tough question to answer, I think, because the only redeeming quality of the movie as it stands right now is the songs. Because the songs are catchy, well written. Some people, I guess, don't like them as much, but I think as a soundtrack, it's very strong. Like, but if you take all the songs out of it, like the story makes zero sense.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could have gotten a better movie if they were less worried about the music, for sure.
That's so. I'd never heard that detail about them changing the plot based on Let It Go.
It's insane.
I think that speaks a lot to the bones of the movie. What's your favorite Disney movie?
I'd say Lion King, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lion King's really high up there. One of my all-time favorites. Also, I really dig Emperor's New Groove.
Oh
Emperor's
my
New Groove is,
gosh.
like, super fun, underrated.
I love it. Is totally underrated. It's such an amazing movie. I say llama, llama, llama all the time.
So those movies work. Those movies could totally work without the music. I don't even think there's a whole lot of music in Emperor's New Groove. I think there's like 2 songs.
Yeah, it's mostly about him dancing. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
David Spade dancing
and
as
Eastman
a llama.
and Kronk having fun times.
Oh my god.
And saying silly, goofy shit.
Not to tangent too much about Emperor's New Groove, but when Kronk is like trying to do like this sneak around thing and he's making his own action movie soundtrack. It is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a movie. Like, it's so funny. He's like, and someone's going by and he's like, oh.
It's so good.
So good. And then the whole thing with like how every time it's different when they go down the roller coaster to her lab. Like, it is a good ass movie.
But the movies that are the best Disney movies are so solid in the actual storytelling that the songs enhance what's going on. I think that is the real pitfall that Frozen falls into, is that the songs it's a fun listen. I can see people doing this as karaoke forever. It's, they got a Broadway musical of it now. It's going to be around.
Yeah.
But the story of Frozen is not enhanced by the songs. The story is the songs. And the everybody else is just kind of set dressing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for sure. And we're getting Frozen 2, which is like, what is that?
Oh my god. Yeah, what is it? What are they even going to do for that?
I don't know. Well, unfortunately, I guess it's going to maybe be about Anna and Kristoff, which is also something that I feel like people like to gloss over about Frozen, because they're like, oh, it's about sister and sister love. And it's like, well, just because like true love is not true love's kiss in this. But
right.
There's the whole undercurrent of Anna is still about like her finding a man. Like her wanting to get married to Hans is like the inciting incident.
Right.
Like, and it's instantly, like as soon as she leaves Hans, like less than 5 minutes later, we're introduced to like her new love interest, who she will clearly end up with. Like
Of
it's
course.
not an option. And like if they really wanted to go hard on the like, this is about sisters, why are we even having a love interest at all?
It doesn't. Yeah.
There's so many times that's one of the times I think with they try to misdirect with like the whole like true love thing and the whole like Hans like totally unearned like villain turn like at
Right.
the end. It's just sloppy storytelling. Like I feel like at least Hans is like there should have been like a hint that he was somewhat duplicitous.
There was absolutely none.
I know I was paying specific because I didn't know about the twist the first time I watched it
Right,
like, ahead of
same.
time. But I paid specific attention this time to see if there was any hint. And he is the nicest, most stand-up dude
Yeah.
the entire time. And you're
He's a
like,
real
man,
sweetie.
he is really taking care of this kingdom. And then it's like I said, it's like they were like, oh, we don't have any conflict. We need a big climax.
Ah, shit. Okay,
So
Hans,
we
you're up.
got to wrap this movie up in 10 minutes and have like a big battle somehow. This character hasn't really been in the movie that much. Let's make him the villain.
I just can't. Yeah, I can't picture. It's so sad. Is because I can't picture this movie going a different way than it actually did. Like everything that happens in the movie, I was like, all right, yeah, that makes. I get it. It's like you're doing the Disney everybody comes together thing, and it's nice that they're doing something where it's not just about her falling in love with a man, even though it is. It's just like, but it's like just enough of a change from what Disney normally does to be okay, but then they go right back into the Disney bullshit of like, all right, we're gonna make this a bunch of songs that are gonna try and save you from looking at we have some big glaring mistakes that we are not gonna fix.
Yeah, I still can't get over the fact that these trolls are such a big part of this movie. And they have nothing to do with anything.
I don't get it.
Nothing. It could have been just one old sorcerer.
Yeah.
Like, why did we need a whole clan of trolls to give us the magic explanation? Then they don't actually really explain anything about the magic. They're just like,
Yeah.
yep.
They're just like,
That's it.
That's it. Well, we already told you you
Each
shouldn't have
time
hit her
they're
in the
just
head. You shouldn't hit her in the heart. But
Yeah.
she's hitting the heart now. She's gonna die.
Oh my God,
Well, sorry.
the blatant foreshadowing of like the prologue of the movie where it's like, well, she was hit in the head, so that's okay. But like
Right.
if she was hit in the heart, and she also doesn't die instantly from being hit in the heart. And it seems like a very fixable thing, this whole being hit in the heart
Yeah.
thing. So it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Whereas when she was hit in the head, she was like passed out immediately.
Hey, listen. If you're expecting either of us to understand how to explain this movie at this point, you're sadly mistaken.
Oh wait, I have some other things about her powers that don't make any sense.
Hit us with the quick list.
Okay.
What you got?
So we got a couple. So the gloves keep her power from coming out of her hands, but shoes don't keep it from coming out of her feet.
I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
She's stomping all over the place and making ice rinks.
And
Oh my
like when she
God.
escapes, yeah, it's like, oh no, I'm just like ice shooting everywhere out of my one ungloved hand, but also I can escape over the fjord just normally with wearing my shoes. She doesn't have to take her shoes off. She also like can't control her powers at all, and then 5 minutes later she's building a gigantic ice castle.
Right.
And then when she gets caught, they put her in these metal like shackles that are covering her hands. Her literal entire body can make snow. Like it doesn't make sense. And then they do this thing where like, I don't know if she's trying to like get out of the cuffs, but like they start to like frost up and it's like, this is the like, I don't know, medieval-ish times. Like that metal can't be that strong. Like
No.
when metal gets as cold as she would be able to make it, it would shatter. She could get out of that very easily.
Nobody's thinking about any of.
Nobody's thinking any of this.
I mean, kudos for us for really taking these imaginary ice people to task.
Yep. Poking holes in all your your plot?
More like melting holes.
Oh,
shit.
snap.
Listen, Ayla, I am not happy that I had to watch Frozen again because I liked it less the second time around. The first time I was like, oh, this is a fun experience with my sister. And now I'm like, this movie's bad.
Yeah, well, the first time I watched it, I didn't hate it or anything. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, I was slightly disappointed. I was like, I don't really understand like what the hype was about. That was like a nice enough movie. And then I think over the next year of just Frozen fever and people just touting it as like the best movie of all time and all of the merchandise and shows spinoffs, and now we're getting
Right.
Frozen 2. I'm like, guys, this movie was not good. Like, it was a just okay movie that had one awesome song
And
that really is just fireworks by Katy Perry.
true. Hey, listen, I hope you all can see that now. Ayla, thanks for bringing this to my attention.
You're welcome.
Where can the listeners find you if they want to talk shit about your take?
Oh God, I'm so scared. Don't murder me. You can find me on all platforms just at Ayla Glass, AYLAGLASS. I'm the only one because I'm fancy like that.
Oh, shit.
You can also follow at Ladylike Comedy Show on Instagram. That's like the comedy show that I host once a month. It's all women of color and it's awesome.
And it's at the Pack,
At
yes?
the Pack Theater, first Fridays at 8 p.m.
Go check it out.
Woo
It's
woo.
coming. It's actually, that'll be tonight by the time, hold on.
Well, we're not doing a
Oh,
show,
we're not
in
doing
June
a show in June.
because we did 2 shows. We actually did 3 shows in May, so we're taking the month
See
off.
it in July.
So see,
Let them take their month off.
yes, we're having downtime, but we get summer break too sometimes,
You enjoy
just
it.
like Olaf.
If you like me, which I hope you do, you've listened to this many episodes of this podcast, you can follow me at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram, jlightcomedy.com for show dates. If you're a fan of the show, again, which I hope you are at this point, there's been a fuckload of episodes. Tell your friends. Tell just one friend. That's fine. You don't have to tell a bunch of them. Just tell one. Get them to listen.
Tell all of them.
And to join the new Facebook group, which we can talk about whatever movies you want, and I'll post some fun stuff and we'll make it happen, guys. That's all she wrote. Ayla, thanks so much for coming on today.
You're welcome. It was a wonderful time ripping apart this beautiful family movie.
Yeah. Guys, this has been Blockbusting. Go see something good for a change.